Hello everybody, welcome to Analyzing Our Games Part 30. I played this game in 2021 and my opponent was Luciano Fear, a very strong chess player, and the game goes like this. I played e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4. Yeah, that's when I was playing the Italian. So it's a very interesting way of conducting white pieces. He played bishop c5, that's the classical way of handling this position. c3, knight f6, d3, so I have to defend my pawn on e4. d6, knight b d2, a6, yeah, this is a very thematic way of trying to defend this advanced on the queen's side. Yeah, bishop queen e2. So this is a way to prevent the exchange of bishops. Yeah, that's why I played this queen e2. Castles, h3. So that's to prevent the bishop coming to g5, g4, d5. That's normal. Usually good players, they do this, they play d5, and that's why I think it's nice to avoid the exchange of the bishop, because this bishop can be a very good attacker in the future. Bishop b3, then d takes e4, d takes e4, and now I avoid exchanges, and that's why I think it's important to play the queen to e2. Queen e7, so my opponent knows that this column is gonna be open, so it's gonna be open, and then there's the danger of the rooks coming to d1. Knight f1, so my pieces are going to the king side to attack my opponent's king. Bishop e3, so this is a very good way of nullifying this bishop, yeah, because this diagonal is very important. I didn't exchange it, I preferred to wait for my opponent's decision, so I played g4. My opponent took, and I took with the pawn. That's the only option. Queen e6, so attacking my pawn, and then instead of queen c2, yeah, using the queen to defend the pawn, much better is to play b4, yeah, of course, and then bishop b6, and knight g3. So that's one of the things we have to try to take control of. This is a square here, yeah? Not this square. Let me show this. Yeah, so this square is very important. So after queen c2, rook a d8, so my opponent is trying to develop his pieces. Actually, this is a very good position for black. Yeah. For example, Stockfish says that black is a little bit better, but okay. Then I played knight g3, see, trying to move my pieces to my opponent's king. g6, so he's trying to avoid my jumping of the knight here to f5 or h5. Here I played bishop h6, but probably b4 is a little bit better, and after bishop e7, then I can play bishop to h6, but yeah, the position is gonna be very similar. Okay, but I played here bishop h6, then the rook leaves this place. g5, I don't think this is good, because g5, now my opponent can block the situation, block the position, and So I think it's better to play b4 again, and bishop f8, and then I go back with my bishop. The position is equal here, there's nothing. Yeah, but this, I would love to push h4, but the problem is this bishop, this pawn, it's defended now. Okay, so g5, knight d7. Probably it's better to go, yeah, that's not a human move, but yeah, the computer says it's better to play knight h5, and then knight takes knight, pawn takes knight, and then there's something open here. So that's why the computers prefer this, because now it's open. Maybe there's something here. But after knight e7, my knight can't jump to, yeah, it can, but then it's gonna be exchanged. Yeah, so, and then rook d1. Black's a little bit better. I don't know how much, but yeah, black's okay here. Okay, then knight d7. I played this h4. I wanted to open the position, try to attack my opponent's king. b4 again is a little bit better, but then the bishop goes back to f8, then exchange bishops, and that's okay. There's nothing here. Black is okay, maybe a little bit better, or there's a draw here. And then h4, bishop goes back. Yeah, my opponent saw that there was something kind of dangerous here about the black squares. There's this idea of bishop b6 before, yeah, because bishop b4 is important because it prevents the jump of the knight to c5. And here a5, yeah, trying to exchange some pieces or something, and exchange the pawns, and then being able to post the knight to play the knight to c5. Also, bishop e7 is okay, then castling. Yeah, this is a very interesting position. Yeah, I think. But yeah, interesting, but the computer says black is better. And so that's a very difficult position to handle. I have stopped playing the king's pawn for a while. I've been playing the English lately, but yeah, I'm gonna go back to the e4 pawn soon. So bishop f8, I took it because yeah, I can't defend it, I can't do anything, and so I took it. My opponent took, and rook d1. Now the computer says black is much better, not good. So I played this game, but I saved it because I was in a bad position almost all after move 15. I was worse all the time. So better is, instead of playing rook d1, the computer suggests b4. Yeah. And then my opponent would play a5 anyway, because yeah, the remove of this. Then there's b5, defense, and rook takes. Yeah. Now it's okay. Black is a little bit better according to the computers, but the problem is this. There are some holes here, so the knights are very hard to keep them quiet. Yeah, they are gonna jump. For example, this knight is gonna jump to d6, and then there's the problem with this square here, c4, and then maybe the knight can come to, the other knight can come to b6, so not easy. Okay, so after rook d1, my opponent could have played this. knight c5, and now he's much better because there are many threats here. For example, this pawn is threatened, this pawn is threatened, not now because there are two defenders, but his queen can come to this g4 square, and it's gonna be kind of difficult to defend everything. And yeah, so there are some things here. There are some things, and black is better. So instead of this, my opponent luckily played f5. It's a mistake, and then I played the wrong move again. G takes f6, so it's good for black. So that's one of the things that we have to learn. Take a look at this column. It's open, so I can't open it and help my opponent. But I don't know, it would be opened up anyway, and I was a little bit afraid of bishop pawn taking. Pawn takes and then queen takes, then it's kind of defended. I don't know if yeah. But instead of G takes en passant, H5 is better, because then I'm gonna open the H column. So then my opponent takes, I would take, no, I would wait and not take with the knight, but I would play knight d2, and then after e3, then I would take on e3, and the computer says it's equal position. But yeah, the good thing is that now I can plant one of my knights here on e4. Yeah, I don't know if it's better or, but yeah, now this column is open, so okay. But yeah, I played this. G takes f6, and then my opponent took with his queen, and it's very good. Black is better. And now I played some defensive moves. It's okay. I played this position kinda well. Yeah, against a computer, of course, I would lose it, but against humans, we have some chances. Yeah, because now I defended with my rook. And then, see, my opponent's knight came to c5. And then I played this, rook e3. It's very passive, but for the time being, it's defended. Yeah, and rook d7. Black's better, because, yeah, the idea is to double the rooks. And then I played... Yeah, I'm taking a look at the Stockfish's opinion, and it says that it's better to play h5. But yeah, not easy. I castled. Yeah, black is better. But I castled and I thought, now I can't attack, so I'm gonna defend. Yeah, and try to, try to defend my position and make a draw. My opponent played very well, so knight e6, now trying to go to f4, so it's a very undefended place, yeah, because my pawns are not on g2 or d2 or e2, so I can't attack with a pawn. So this is a weak square. I played d1, so this is a good move. Rook fd1 is not good because it helps me to exchange pieces, and the more pieces are exchanged, better for me, yeah, better for white. So rook fd8 is not a good move. Better is rook g7 or rook e7, avoiding the exchange of rooks. Okay, so after fd8, rook fd8, I played rook takes on d7, then rook takes, and then rook d3, trying to exchange more pieces. Yeah, computer suggests b4, so it's better probably because of the c5 square. Yes. So rook d3. Okay, black's still better. And then my opponent defended the rook instead of moving it. So rook f1, f7 would be better. And then I would go back to this square here. Yeah. So queen d8. I exchange it, of course. Yeah, so it's better for me to exchange pieces. Then my position gets easier to handle. Now queen d2 would be better to try to exchange more pieces. And then if my opponent took, then I would take on d2 with my knight, and the position is a little bit better for black, but now I think it would be kind of easier to defend it. Yeah, not very easy, but easier than before. Knight e2, so it's not the best. Then knight f4, so this is not good because my opponent is helping me. I need to exchange pieces, and my opponent proposed the exchange. Knight c5 is better than before. Queen d3. Yeah, now my opponent is exchanging pieces. Now I would take and take, and my pawn is attacked, and then I would play b3, and black's a little bit better. I don't know if it's the necessary or if this is winning for black. For computers, yes, but for people, we make a lot of mistakes. So my opponent played, I took, of course, and it was interesting because, yeah, my opponent played this check here, so he calculated this retake, and then I moved back my knight, and he took on f3. And before, again, it would be the best move. Then I think it's very easy for white to keep the draw. Yeah. Okay, so king f1. My opponent wanted to invade here the first first rank, but then I moved back my king. Okay, knight d8. See, my opponent's thinking about the knight coming or something like that. Yes. Okay, then queen d7 and d2. So now I am threatening to take on d8 or take control of the column. Knight f7, and then queen d5. So attacking and trying to avoid my opponent from moving his knight, but then he played c6. It's okay. Then I have some options here, but the computers think it's draw. So luckily my opponent missed some chances, and now I can draw this. It's a very equal position. Now queen d2 is not the best. Yeah, playing c4, queen c5, for example, is a little bit better. Yeah, because it defends some squares here, and it can attack. The queen can go and attack some pawns, and yeah, so, and even queen c4 is okay. My opponent would unpin, but that's okay. Then I can attack my opponent's pawns, and maybe because of this it's a draw. Okay, so queen d2, then queen e6. My opponent moved his queen back to defend some pawns, and then luckily, and no, finally I played b4. See, a long time. So if I had played If I had played this before, I wouldn't have suffered so much during this game. That was the difficult part, because before. So that's a thing to be learned. So my opponent proposed the exchange of queens. I think I don't know why, but I was a little bit afraid of exchanging the queens and my opponent's knight going and attacking some things here, and so I played, but it's considered by Stockfish the correct move, so it's okay. But taking would make no difference. It would be draw anyway. But of course that we are playing and we don't have much time, and the clock is ticking. And for example, I knew this, I would lose the pawn, but if I had more time to calculate, I would know that I would take his a5 e5 pawn back, so then it would be no problem. Take a look, there's no way to avoid the pawn from falling. So this is a very I think it's okay. I think it's possible to draw this position. I don't know. Queen e2, then knight d8. See, my opponent wants to put his knight to work again, maybe on f4, we don't know. But h5, according to the computers, it's draw. So knight d8, then f3. So I made room to my king and also defended the pawn on e4. h5 is also draw. King g7, king f2. It's also possible to, but for human beings it's usually very difficult to play these moves, because you permit the check on d1, and especially when you don't have much time and you can't calculate everything, so it's better to play something safer. So knight e6, so as you can see, trying to come to f4, then f6 is okay, king g3, it's a draw, and then knight e6, king g3. So I was thinking about not allowing something here, but there's no danger here. Queen e3, the computer says it's draw. Then my opponent tried g5, so I thought maybe he's trying to attack, but let's take it. But it's okay to take. I think taking is better, but I played h5. I don't know why I was thinking about a passed pawn, so I wanted to avoid this. Because if I take on g5, then the h pawn is a passed one, so I didn't want to permit this. And then c5, my opponent was trying to exchange everything. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he was running short on time, and then that's why he played some moves that helped me to exchange things and make life easier for me. Then I took, of course, because there's no passed pawn here. My opponent took with his knight. It's possible to take with the queen. Then I would take control of the d file again. So knight c5, then knight e1. I didn't want to allow him to come to e3, to d3. Knight e3 is also possible because it threatens to give a check here. That would be game over. But I played very passively. This is one of the things that we have to learn. Don't play passively. You have to play actively. Yeah, because there's always something. Yeah, but I didn't want to exchange pieces and let him come with his knight here and attack my pawns. That's why. So queen f6. Yeah, threatening check here and something. So I played queen d2, and let's avoid this. And maybe there are some, if the knight moves, I can give some checks and maybe take the pawn or something. So h6. So my opponent played safe. Queen d5. So attacking the knight again. And here's better to defend with the pawn. Yes. Knight d3. Then I'll exchange the queens. Maybe there's a check here, but there's nothing. Yeah. Okay, queen e7, then queen d2. It's a mistake. Why is it a mistake? Oh, because there's a very nice move here. So take a look. Then, yeah, this is called a passive move. Yeah. So my queen is very, very well placed. Why did I move it? Take a look at my queen. It's attacking. e5, the knight on c5, the pawn on b7. So why to move it? So it's a mistake. It's a clear mistake. Instead of this, knight g2 would be winning, because there are many threats now. I'm threatening to play the knight to e3 and the check on f6, f5, winning. I would make black's life very hard, because now I can take one, or if the queen moves, I can take the queen or the pawn or the knight. So yeah, mistakes. So I played very badly. Queen d2, queen e8. My opponent gave me the second chance to go queen d5 again, but no, I played this. I don't know why. I was thinking about defending the pawn. Yeah, instead of attacking, I was defending. So my pawn is, my queen is here. So if I move it to this d5, yeah, the queen can take here, because then I would take his knight. Yeah, that's a stupid move. Yeah. So again, my opponent would have to play queen e7 to defend the pawn and the knight, and then I would play knight g2, or even this move is also very good, knight c2. Yeah, because it's a very good one, and it's the same idea. The knight goes to e3 and f5. Okay, queen h2, stupid move. Queen f7, defending something and also threatening to give check here. I move my king. Then I would play the... Now there's a mistake here that I remember I saw, because king f2, then black can take on e4 because of the pin. Yeah. Then my opponent proposed this exchange of queens, and you know, chess is kind of hard. You never know when to exchange and what time is the correct one. For example, here is not a good time, a good moment to exchange. It's much better to play queen g1 and avoid the exchange. Yeah, now I'm attacking the knight, and when it moves, I can start the attack on his queen side, and maybe I can get a draw, or yeah, then my opponent has to force something. Yeah. Okay, so I took, and it's not correct, because then my opponent takes with the g, and it's gonna be very crazy, the variations we have here, but because of Sutzwang, black wins. And then I played king h3. Yeah, it's interesting because there's nothing very good here. For example, black is gonna take this pawn. Yeah, then it's curtains, because if this pawn becomes past one, yeah, what can I do? So at the moment of playing, I didn't have a lot of time, and then I thought I have to go and attack this pawn, because if my opponent takes this pawn, yeah, I have to defend this pawn, and if allowed, I can go and take this pawn. Then black is in trouble. Yeah, that's what I played. That's why I played king h3. My opponent came here, and then I played king g4. I don't know, the computers play some crazy lines here, but they are all losing to white. See, my pawns are attacked all the time. And now there's this move. Yeah, as I told you before, I'm gonna lose the h pawn, and I don't know, this passed pawn can become a very strong guy in the future, because my opponent's gonna move his knight and king to the other side, and these pawns can also drop, and this pawn is gonna promote. So white is lost here. So king g4, king e6. The computer says it's much better to play here, and that's what I told you about Sutzwang. Yeah, there are some crazy lines here about Sutzwang, and they're all winning for black. There are some crazy things here. So I was moving to and fro, trying to gain some time, but yeah, the knight comes, and I defend here with the king b6. See, I'm Sutzwang a4. See, now my pawn can't move, and now I play here, and my pawn my opponent would attack my pawn on b2 and even sacrifice or something, and it's losing. The case of knight d2, c5, knight attacks the pawn, king moves, a4, knight b. See, it's a Sutzwang, a crazy Sutzwang. Knight c5, takes c5, and yeah, the knight can come and attack the pieces, and these pawns, 2 pawns are gonna promote. One of them is gonna promote, so it was lost. And then my opponent played king e6. I came back, but it says here b4 would be the best. I don't know if probably white can draw here, but that's b4. See, the whole game evolved and revolved around b4. So that's really crazy. Yeah, sometimes we think, oh, don't move your pawns if not necessary, but here the moving of the pawn is very necessary. Yeah, so knight d7 and then knight d3. According to the computers, it's a draw, but it's kind of difficult to play these positions because, yeah, this knight can attack, can infiltrate, and we can also make a black can make a passed pawn using these 2 guys. So not easy. Not easy at all. So I played king h4, and it's considered a mistake. King d6. I played here king g4, trying to invade here and take this pawn, but my opponent went back, and then I repeated the position, but b4 is better. Knight d7 and knight d3 is a draw probably, and then I played again, and it's a mistake because b6 is winning, and there are many other moves that win. So my opponent played, yeah, he wanted to come to the side, but it's impossible because the moment I play king g4, if he allows me to come and take this pawn, then this pawn is gonna promote, so I would win. And then Luciano Fear played king e6, and we agreed to a draw. Yeah, it was a very hard game. I remember that the time was running very, very quickly, and I was always having problems to think and to defend, but it was a very, very interesting game. Yeah. So I hope you learned something, and I hope next game to think more about this prophylaxis. Yeah, we have to play prophylactically sometimes. Yeah, because if we allow our opponent to invade our position, sometimes there's no coming back. Yeah. So that's what happened here. Luckily, my opponent played some inaccurate moves, and I was able to draw this position. Thank you very much. Play chess, study chess, learn with your own mistakes, and let's keep improving. Bye bye, take care.